What irritates me is that Paula and her team have been working on this series allegedly since 2017 and never once thought about what other Black families could potentially look like for their Black family that they're trying to portray in their series. Hey lovely people, Nappy Valley here, and I'm back again with another hair story. I have decided to upload twice a week, and Tuesdays are dedicated to hair stories that I find interesting. So if you think this is interesting and you like this type of content, don't forget to like and subscribe to my channel so you can get more of these types of videos every week. Today's topic is about a new Nick Jr. show called Made by Maddie, and how the characters suspiciously look like the characters from Hair Love. If you don't know what Hair Love is, it is a short animated film by animator Matthew A. Cherry. The story is about a young millennial father attempting to style his young daughter and using like YouTube channels and YouTube videos to help him with that process. And literally the story is so cute and it's such a great film. And if you haven't watched it yet, go watch it like right now and then come back to this video so we can discuss the similarities between Made by Maddie and Hair Love. So now that you have watched it, you can see why the film is so amazing. This film has literally been picked up by HBO Max, and they're starting a show that's called Young Love, and it's basically a spin-off of that short animated film, right? So now that you've actually seen it, I'm going to show you what the characters of Made by Maddie look like. It's kind of crazy how similar both of the characters look like. Like, you can hardly find representation for Black males with locks, and you're telling me it just so happens that two shows or two animated series that are catered to young children both happen to have a Black family and a Black family with a dad, and the dad having locks. That's just a coincidence, because we don't even see that in other places, but it just so happens that these two shows just have a Black dad with locks. Gotcha. Now, Made by Maddie was created by a woman named Paula Rosenthal, and she is a white woman who works for Silvergate Media, which is another production company that has worked with Nick Jr. or Nickelodeon in the past. Paula and her team have been saying that they have been working on this series for a couple of years, but according to an article by The Times, they started that production a month after Hair Love was released. Like, that doesn't make you look even more suspicious, but I digress. However, since the trailer has been released, there has been a crazy amount of criticism and backlash for the series, and Nickelodeon decided to cancel the series. And in my opinion, I think that was a good idea. But if that was just it, there wouldn't be a whole video on this. So I think it's more than just plagiarizing that's the issue here, because some creators people in the public who are defending the series brought up the fact that Made by Maddie actually has a completely different plot than Hair Love or the HBO series, the HBO adaptation of Hair Love, Young Love, right? So Made by Maddie is a series following an 8-year-old Maddie around New York City as she uses her imagination and design to turn every problem into a positive with a perfect fashion fix. According to a Pop Time UK article, that is what Made by Maddie is supposed to be about. And the HBO show that follows Hair Love is about the lives of Zuri and her parents, Stefan and Angela, along with their pet cat, Rock, as they juggle their careers, marriage, parenthood, social issues, and multi-generational dynamics, according to an article by Vulture. Even from both of these descriptions, you can tell one has substance and the other series doesn't. And I'm not going to tell you which one, but I think you can figure it out. What irritates me is that Paula and her team have been working on this series allegedly since 2017 and never once thought about what other Black families could potentially look like for their Black family that they're trying to portray in their series. This leads me to question why the characters were black in the first place. Are they black because it's time for black families to be accurately represented in like mainstream media? Or did they see the success of Hair Love and try to piggyback off of that? Because honestly, it really doesn't make any type of sense to take somebody's animation and not take the plot. Like, I can understand writer's block and needing inspiration for your piece or your story, but like, the story is completely different. All you needed was just a black family. And you're telling me you couldn't have walked outside and looked around and saw another black family and used that as your inspiration? Like, it just doesn't make any sense. You could have just used another black family to represent your black family instead of taking the black family from Hair Loves. I'm gonna calm down. We're gonna get there. I feel like Paula and Nick thought that, because our series looks like Hair Love, that they would get the same amount of success and attention as Hair Love got, but they kind of negated the fact that like Hair Love was wildly successful because 1, it's freaking cute and it just warms your heart. 2, it portrays perspectives that aren't really talked about and like exposed in mainstream media. 1 being like an involved black father, because a lot of black fathers aren't portrayed in black families that are in like, the media. And 2, kind of like how the natural hair movement affects younger people, because when we talk about the natural hair movement, we're usually talking about somebody who's 16, 17, 18 and up. Really like 25 and up, but I'm gonna be nice, 16, 17, 18 and up. The fact that the story surrounded a black father and a young girl going through her natural hair journey is just like innovative and different, and gives a different narrative than anything else out there currently. The third thing that Nick and Paula neglected to realize was that the story was so multi-dimensional that although it was talking about very specific things, anybody and everybody who watches it can relate to it in some capacity. Every parent can relate to trying to get their children ready for an event. Every parent can relate to a stubborn child. Every parent, or many people, can relate to having somebody in the hospital and being sick. Like, although the main themes of the story and of the story of the short film is very specific to black fathers and young black children, but the layers, it was so multi-dimensional that literally anybody could get something from that story. And it just irritates me that Nick thought that just because their characters looks like Hair Love's characters, that they would get the same like hype without the substance. Like, take your one-dimensional story and just go without trying to use blackness to make it popular. If you wanted a clear explanation of what cultural appropriation is, I think this dynamic is like the root of why cultural appropriation is so problematic. $1 billion company literally was trying to make money off of the success of a black man that utilized his personal experiences and cultural background to make a successful short film, and they tried to repackage that and give us a watered down, one-dimensional, substance lacking series based off of this man's work, and that's so messed up. And I just really wish Hollywood would just, not even just Hollywood movie producers, television producers, writers, script writers, to really just ponder and think, like, what is your intention behind doing your things? Because in this situation, it's very clear that the intention behind Paula's team or Nickelodeon was to utilize the success of something else for their own. And like, when we say we want inclusivity, when we say we want diversity, this is not what we're talking about. If your diversity or your inclusivity requires you stealing something from another black creator, then that's not what we're asking for. We are literally asking for you to hire and represent black culture, black stories or other minorities' stories and culture in a way that is accurate and gives awareness to the greater population of who we are and what we are. I just really wish movie producers, TV producers, script writers, all those people dealing with mass media just really thought about their intentions behind why they do the things that they do. That is all I have for today. If you thought it was interesting, definitely give it a thumbs up. If you thought that I was completely off the mark, leave me a comment. Be nice though, but leave me a comment. And if you have anything else you want to add to my points, also leave me a comment. Definitely look forward to my weekly Tuesday uploads for hair news and my weekly Friday uploads for hair advice and hair tutorials and product tutorials. So if this sounds like something you like, definitely like and subscribe to my channel. But that is all that I have for today. See you guys on Friday. Bye.